Hello everybody and welcome to what's going to be a very, very blooming good podcast. Whether you're listening to it on SoundCloud, Spotify or iTunes, or you're watching it on YouTube, can I just take this opportunity to say thank you so much. Please consider leaving a review, a rating, a comment, or whatever you can do on the given platform that you're listening to it on. Before we get into it, I just want to say there's a lot of strong language, all right? So if you're easily offended, I'm kind of sorry. However, I left the swearing in and I allowed the swearing and the strong language to be in there because it was such an honest, open and deep conversation that we had with our guest, and it would have been rude to keep checking everybody on their swearing, especially an Australian. They seem to enjoy that strong language. So if you are easily offended, apologies. If you're not, then enjoy this podcast. It's sure to be a good one, and part 2 of this one will be coming out soon. So without further ado, take it away, Chris. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the best podcast in the world, in Derbyshire, in Preston, right now. It is, of course, the Group L. Right, before we get into it, Cam, I need to address a situation. The amount of people that are leaving comments... Pardon?
I wanted to address something as well before we got into things, but I'll let you go first.
2 points of hot topics. Right, first up, everyone that's watching on YouTube right now, this podcast is available on Spotify, on iTunes, and Spotify and SoundCloud.
And Spotify.
It's on Spotify twice. But listen, everyone keeps messaging me saying, is it available on Spotify? Is it available on iTunes? Yes, it is. So just go and find it. It's the Gruppetto. All right? So that's the first thing out of the way. So I don't have to address that anymore. Cameron, what's on the agenda?
Well, we had a comment in a recent podcast. Might have been the last one. Might have been the one before, which I just wanted to highlight, just ever so slightly.
Brilliant.
And it was something along I can't remember word by word, but it was something along the lines of Cameron would be such a great host if he didn't have a stutter.
I remember.
All right.
That.
Yeah. All right. And it's like, I don't know about you, but I thought Einstein was dead. It turns out he's alive and well, and he's in your fucking comment section. Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it? Like, mate, come on. Like, I'm 24 years old. Thank you for stating an obvious piece, an obvious fact. Like, why? What does this guy think? Gives him the privilege, right, to think I'm gonna the privilege to say to you and me, because we're on the internet, right? Why he thinks he can say that? Would he ever go to his workmate or work colleague, who's sat there, who's probably doing a presentation about a new project or something, and they start to stutter in their presentation? He puts his hand up and goes, "Hold on a minute, Deborah. Look, you would be really good at doing this presentation if you didn't have a stutter." No, you wouldn't say that. You would never ever say that to someone. So what does this entitled prick think that he has that allows him to say this to 2 people on the internet? Like, I think people forget, Chris, that we're normal people, man. Like you and me, we are normal people. We wake up in the morning, we eat food, and we take a shit. Like, we aren't anything special. Like, when people say stuff, like it applies to us as much as it applies to the next person. So thank you for highlighting something that I've realised for the last 24 years of my life.
Well, firstly, I'm sorry I wrote that comment. I just thought you were going to find it quite funny. but what everyone else can't see on the podcast and on the video is our guest is just sat there just looking at you like, what the fuck? Mate, listen to this comment I got yesterday. I put it on my Instagram. Dude, get some testosterone or whatever. You have no punch, and hell, I don't know what's up with you, but you sound more girly than most girls. Not even talking about the voice. What? I mean, I kind of just roll with the punches with that stuff. I don't. Yeah, but you're right. People forget that. People forget that you are a genuine, normal human being with feeling. Oh, I guess gone. With you, with feelings, and because you put yourself out there on the public forum, that people feel that they have a right to literally say whatever they want about you, and. But and I'm sure we'll get this. We'll get some thoughts from our guest on that one, because I bet he's been abused online at some point in his YouTube career. It's not
even being abused. It's just genuine.
It is abuse.
Idiocy.
Right. Shall we get our guest on?
Let's do it. Let's crack
Cam, on. I found this little soundbite and I want to play it for you. So where does this take you back to?
Good morning, you cracking humans.
How about that?
That was like 2016 in Hitchin in England, wasn't
how
it?
cool. But get this right. So that intro was on the vlog of. Oh, well, hey, listen, it's a cycling maven, a.k.a. Mark Ferguson, a.k.a. the cycling maven. Let's get him in, and then we'll talk more about the podcast. Mark, how are you?
Good, boys. Good to be here. We've got the band back together.
The band is back together. What a good-looking band it is as well.
We've got GLCs, yeah. You guys aren't follically challenged like I am, though.
No, well, Cam is on his...
Hey, Chris is getting there. Look at that forehead.
It's getting bigger, isn't it? It's getting longer.
It's getting bigger. It's getting bigger, mate. Nah, you got to do it right, mate. How old are you now? You'd be
37.
Early 40s.
Whoa!
Whoa.
And that's that,
well,
everybody. What a great podcast it was. Thanks for joining us. See you next week. Right.
So, mate, I reckon you've got it. If you haven't lost it by 30, you've got it for life.
Do you think?
You've got your hair. Yeah, absolutely.
I hope so.
Absolutely.
My dad's...
You may see it.
My dad's still pretty... he's got it all there still, and he's in his 60s now, so I think as long as I take after him, I'll be all right. I mean, Cam's got...
But you shouldn't talk. You shouldn't talk too soon, Cam, because, mate, that wig...
it could just go instantly.
You're only 24.
Yeah, but again, like my dad's got quite thick hair, and he's like mid 50s now, so
you'll be right.
Hopefully,
you'll be right.
So yeah, I was looking back through the old podcasts, Mark, and so that intro from Cam was actually on the vlog when you headed out to France and we met for the first time.
So that was 2016. So you and I met at 2016 when you came to France. I think it was Chamonix or something, somewhere around there.
No, it was what was it? It was that place where there was that massive...
Saint Michel.
Yeah. What a place that was. Mont Saint Michel.
And I think Cam, I met him the following year at Hitchin with what's the... Oh, God.
Ross.
Mind blank.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was that the guy with the Tesla?
Yeah, with the Tesla, yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, they were good days. But, God, man, I can't believe how much time's flown.
Right, let's go all the way back, because it's for me, it's an amazing story. And me and Cam used to talk about you a lot, you know, and what you were up to and what you were doing. And I kind of want to find out how it all went for you and then what's been happening since. So your channel started as more like a tips channel, didn't it? I look all the way back at the start, and it was like a lot of criterium tips, how to race and things like that, before you got into the vlogging, right?
Yeah, so initially I started because I found, I got back into cycling. So I did cycling for many years, and then I got into CrossFit. And I did CrossFit, and I went from this skinny little 72 kilo little dude to this 89 kilo beast deadlifting and stuff. And then one day I was deadlifting at the CrossFit gym, and this is in about 2013. I thought, what am I doing? What am I lifting this heavy weight for? What am I achieving here? So I got back into racing, and then I I started doing massive Ks, and I did no gym, no CrossFit. And so I went back into cycling and started racing. So it was in 2013, 2014, I discovered Durianrider.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And for some reason, I just latched onto his vegan thing and making videos and stuff. And I remember back, I absolutely loved him.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you guys. I've still got a lot of time for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he does some crazy stuff, but I think he's a good guy in person. And so I started making the videos, the tips videos and stuff. But it's one of those things where you've got to stay fit. Like I look at Cam, he's 24. You know, he's fit as a fiddle.
Well.
But what happens is as you get older, it's harder to stay fit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And so to keep doing those tips videos and the racing videos and the commentary and actually being at the front of the bike race was just not sustainable. So I started doing vlogs, and this is where the channel sort of it sort of evolved into this vlogging channel, cycling vlogging channel, which I think I was one of the first to do.
Oh yeah.
That I think Durianrider was doing his videos and he was doing bike tips and stuff, but I think I was one of the first to get into the vlogging, the cycling vlogging side of things.
Yeah.
And I remember, Cam, when you first started your channel, I don't know if I can share this, but you sent me some messages saying, "Hey, bro, I'm working my guts out here. Let's can you help me out? Can you give me a shout out?"
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is where do you remember that?
Yeah, man, I remember 100%. I was gonna bring all this up. Like I was gonna talk about this as well. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah. So look, it went into that, and I don't want to sort of bore you with the long story, but I think the more I got involved in the politics of cycling, I had troubles with the ASO, and we can talk about all that when I went to the Tour de France. I think it was a mistake going and doing the tours. And Cam, I spoke to you about all of this stuff when we were at Hitchin, but there was a lot of politics, and there was a lot of nastiness. I think the crazy thing about cycling is that people in cycling doing what we're doing, and the media people and there's so much infighting and just shit that goes on behind the scenes that I sort of backed away from it. When I finished the 2017 tour, I was like, I'm sort of burnt out with cycling, and I'm burnt out with the politics of cycling, and I'm also burnt out with making videos. And so that was a bit of a shame, because it was two things that I loved: cycling and making videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, like the 2016 tour that we met on, I think those vlogs were absolutely phenomenal. They were brilliant, and obviously there wasn't as many politics going on there. You were following Rob with Ride magazine, was it?
Ride Media, yeah.
With Ride Media, and that was amazing.
Yeah, they were good, and I think to go back and do it a second year, we sort of underestimated. I mean, Rob had a lot of good access to the tour, so he'd done it so many times. And Rob started Ride Media, back in the day in the 90s, man. When I was a young tagger racing, we were getting that magazine, through the late 90s and the early 2000s. I was buying it every month, or every time it came out, I was buying the new magazine, But then the internet came along, and it sort of Rob had to sort of change things up a bit. And so he said, "Look, why don't you come and we'll do some collaborative stuff together on the 2016 Tour de France?" And for me, that was fantastic, because I was just some pleb who was making videos racing bikes in Melbourne. You know what I mean? So for me to be at the Tour de France, it was a pretty cool thing. And so my heart was really in the 2016 Tour de France. Yeah. It was really in it. I was frothing on it.
Yeah, you could tell, especially when you compare it to 2017.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's 2017 was when you did the crowdfunding, right?
Yeah. So 2017 was when we did the Kickstarter, and I think in retrospect, there was a number of things that went wrong with that. I mean, I underestimated the fact that I wasn't going with Rob again. There was a big part of the access side of things that I was missing with Rob. He connected me with people that I wouldn't have had connections with, and so that was a big part of it. But there was also, look, the Kickstarter didn't go down well with a lot of people. I think, we didn't expect to get so much money, and we hit $50,000.
Is that how much you got?
And yeah, 50 grand or 49 grand or something like that. I can't remember. I'd have to go look. But somewhere around that, which is a lot of money. We didn't expect that, man. We didn't expect that sort of dollar value. And so what we said was, look, we'll go do the 2017 Tour de France. This is what we said to our humans on our channel. And we'll go and do the Tour de France. We'll go to do the Giro. And if we make, if we get 30 grand, because that'll cover expenses plus a little bit of spending money, because it's expensive to do these things. You go do a Grand Tour, it's 20 grand expenses easily. And that's not even getting paid for your work, right? So we said, look, we get 30 grand, we'll do the Giro. We get 40 grand, we'll do the Tour de France as well. and if we get 50 grand, we'll go do the Vuelta.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up hitting that number. I mean, I can't believe people would chip in that sort of money, mate. It was insane. It turned out to be 1% of my audience. So something like 1,000. It was 1,000 people. No, yeah. So I got 50,000 subs. So I'm not good with maths. What's that? 1,000 people chipped in. 900 and something people chipped in money.
Is that all?
Which
and you
is
got 50 grand for it.
2%.
2%, but that's a lot of.
Yeah,
that's a lot of for 900 and something people. But I think I don't know, man. I don't know how that happened, but it's a pretty cool story. I don't know many YouTubers that have raised that sort of
no way
to go do something like that. And to be fair, for that amount of work, like to go to the tour, to go to one grand tour and bust your nut going 21 days making videos and traveling around, as I said, the expenses are 20 odd grand. We're not making a lot of money.
No,
we didn't make any money really. The whole lot of it we spent on the grand tours.
So was the idea to make that content, then get the views, get the subscriptions up, get the ad revenue, and then look towards getting sponsors on board?
Yeah, I think so. Look, I don't know what we were thinking, bro. That was back in a time when the vlogs, I realized that making vlogs every day, so getting up, going, hey guys, hey cracking humans, just talking shit every day about nothing, doing these vlogs, it wasn't sustainable.
No.
It wasn't sustainable. I think I look at other YouTube channels now, just in other genres, and I see these people making videos about a specific topic. So they'll make not a vlog, but they'll talk about a specific, like Casey Neistat's a classic example.
Yeah, man.
yeah,
He'll talk about a political event, or he'll talk about a product, or he'll talk about the fact that he's trying to get the hornet's nest out of the back of his yard, right? And he'll make it a story about something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think what the mistake I was making vlogs about really nothing in particular and trying to work it out as I went through the day. I don't know if you've been in that situation, Cam, because you make similar sort of content, but I've even seen that your content's got a point as you go through,
Yeah, exactly.
It performs better.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like, I guess it was the same. It was the same for me. Like, I just kind of lost all motivation to just chat shit, and like I got to the point where I wanted every. It was after the Zwift thing with the France video, Chris, wasn't it? The one-way ticket to France, and then that video did so well, and I was like, actually, maybe there's more of a desire for less quantity content, but something that's got more of a storyline, or I wanted to get to a point where every single video that I upload has that original idea about it, rather than, oh, here's me spending more money on a coffee and fucking like, this is what I'm up to today and I'm doing nothing sort of thing. Like every video I wanted to have that goal and have that
story.
That
story, I guess.
Mate, how the fuck did that video? I had a look at one of your videos of you riding somewhere, and as I said, I've stepped away from sort of YouTube completely lately, but there's one with 1.3 million views.
Yeah, mate, it's insane.
I didn't even know that many people like cycling.
No, and I don't think they do. This is kind of what I'm trying to figure out myself. I think like I want to try and target my content to like your average sort of 20, 30 year old, person that kind of likes, they're into adventure, they're into travel. And I think they're in, flying, taking the cheapest one-way ticket in Europe is like a cool kind of quirky adventure type thing. And the fact that I'm cycling back, like what I'm hoping is that like a completely new viewer to cycling is going to watch that video and be like, oh, all right, this looks quite cool. Like I didn't realize you could ride 1,000 Ks on a bicycle. Like I didn't know you could do that. And like I did another one which did pretty well, where we took took a Boris bike to the south of France, and again it's that which is like a city hire bike in London, right? And you can hire them for 24 hours. So we drove one down to Out the Ways and basically rode up and down it and drove back in just under 24 hours. If you're over that time, you get fined like £300 per bike. We had 2 bikes. So I think people just enjoy that sense of like uncertainty and a sense of adventure, and maybe like trying to make people think, all right, cycling is actually cool, and I want to give it a try now, maybe. And I think that's the key. I think cycling's too niche to just make content which is going to satisfy, you know, your middle-aged second cat racer. Like, I think we've got to make content now which is going to engross a bigger audience and more of a mainstream, I guess. Yeah, I do agree with that. And I think, and I'm seeing that obviously with a lot of genres of videos now, that's where it's at. You've got to make, you know, topical content and content with a story. And look, you know, people message me still, even now, even so long after not making videos, and say, look, are you coming back? Mate, I'm going to be honest with you, there's not a day that goes by where I don't want to pick up the camera and get back into it and make regular content.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I'm in a funny situation mentally where I'm like, I look at vloggers now and I cringe. Yeah. And so I don't want to do vlogs. And do I have time to make these real proper documentaries? Do I have the energy? I mean, I've got a newborn, man. We've got an 8-week-old. I've got a little toddler. I'd rather be doing other stuff. But then I haven't really got that excuse either, because I look at someone like you, Chris, and you're banging out the videos and you've got 2 kids. So, you know, it's no excuses, really.
Well, it's the
same with vegan cyclists.
It's the full-time job, though. That's what I'm doing full-time. Yeah. So I've managed to carve out a wage from it. So that makes it a hell of a lot easier. Now, back in the day, I never used to call you out, but I always said to Cam, when this crowdfunder started, I was like, he's selling out too quick. He's selling out far too quick. I was like, I want this guy to get to 100,000 subs before you did what you did with your crowdfunding. And I was worried what happened was going to happen. Do you regret that, and do you wish you'd have pushed a little bit further with your regular content and your regular vlogs to have broken that 100,000? Because especially back then, even 3 or 4 years ago, 100,000 subs was you know, a good amount.
Yeah. Look, man, this is something I think a lot about. And I've received a lot of criticism from it. I mean, even in the early days of the Giro, I got hammered by people in the early days, and I think it wasn't even the main supporters. I think it was what actually happened is we did the Giro first, and SBS in Australia wasn't covering the Giro at all. Okay, and so what a lot of people did in the social media world is said, hey, look, Cycling Maven's going to the Giro, just watch his content. So we had a lot of people coming over to our channel, not knowing who I was, expecting to see race footage and expecting to see proper coverage. And there's me, chiming into a pizza and a cafe latte and talking absolute chang about the cafe. And, you know, there must have been a whole bunch of people come onto my channel thinking, what the fuck is this shit, right? And I don't blame them, because when I first saw Casey Neistat and other bloggers, you know, doing their stuff, I was like, who are these fucking weirdos, right?
Yeah.
But now I had all these people come across and were sort of, you know, coming in the comments saying all sorts of stuff. And I remember after about day 3, there was one comment. We copped a lot of criticism, and I think there were a lot of people jumping on board. And there was one comment. Obviously, Australia was the opposite side of the world in terms of the times. So we were sleeping over the night, and someone had commented, and I woke up in the morning to the top comment, which was upvoted by everyone.
Can I have a guess at this?
To Hannah needs a cock in her ass.
Mate,
that was the top comment. Hannah needs a cock in her ass, and it was upvoted.
I was listening to the Daily Talk Show yesterday with you on it, and that was, you mentioned it then. Oh God.
Oh brother.
Yeah.
So that was, we got some humour out of it, but we were also a little bit frustrated because we really did care about creating good content.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, you know, did I want to get to 100,000 subs? Well, yeah, I fucking wanted to get to 100,000 subs, but I didn't have that in mind. And as I said to you, we were at a stage after the Indie Pack and stuff where, you know, Mike Hall was killed, and I was just like, you know what? I don't really want to keep making vlogs, and I think the next thing is maybe I go back to the tours and we do this Grand Tour series. So really, all we were doing was experimenting.
Yeah.
You know, I felt as though even with my vlogs back in the day when I first started, I felt as though I was sort of paving the way a little bit in the cycling genre world. And so we were just trying something new with the Kickstarter. I had no idea at the time that I would have, that it was, as you say, selling out. I just thought, oh, here's a way for us to make some cash and I can go full time.
Yeah.
I can go full time. I can quit my job and go do this. But the funny thing is trying to make money in a niche, which is cycling. Yeah. I mean, obviously you got the Wah Hooligan thing in the background there, and you've probably got some sponsorship stuff going on, which is the end goal. Mm-hmm. But even that comes with a lot of fucking around too, right? So dealing with these companies, trying to get the money, trying to get long-term sort of agreements.
Yeah.
It does my head in, So we went. So I suppose in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is we went for the crowdfunding side of things and the audience, and I did the Patreon thing afterwards. Mm-hmm. I probably wouldn't do that again. If I had my time again, I wouldn't do any of that. I would go with the advertising and the companies side of things.
Yeah.
I did punish that is that, sort of trying to organise long term, because no one's got any money. Zwift has probably got a bit of money. Wahoo's probably got some. Maybe a couple other fucking brands, and everyone else is just scrapping around for a bit of cash.
They're dead on their ass, aren't they?
But I think especially now, I think more so now at the minute because of so much uncertainty. I don't think people are gonna, people are hesitant to spend because they don't know what's going on, right? Like, they don't know if they're gonna need the money in 6 months' time.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, no, it's not even that. It's these brands have got, marketing. It's part of their business plan, and I suppose it's part of writing off cash for the year to marketing. But there's so many people like us guys doing little things that everyone's sort of fighting for a little bit of money here and there.
Yeah.
And so the pipe dream of doing it full time, and obviously you're doing it well. And that's the other thing. You've got to set it up so that you can do it well. I mean, obviously you're doing it full time. It's working. We just tried something else and it didn't work. That's the way I look at it. We tried Saturday.
But I would also argue, Mark, like you did it back in 2017. I think if you tried to do that now, it would be a whole different ballgame. Like I don't know whether it's because of the videos that have gone more mainstream that I've done, but like I'm finding that I'm getting more kind of generic mainstream brands coming to me wanting to sponsor on my channel, which have got they've got heaps of money. And I think you were doing what you were doing at a time when cycling, it was super niche, and I guess it still is to an extent, has this old school mentality of advertising needs to be in cycling weekly magazines, and they kind of don't understand this new wave of social media. But I definitely think it is better now, and I think if you were doing what you're doing, then you would definitely have more success in acquiring long-term sponsorship with brands, whether that be within or without outside of the cycling industry.
Well, what do you think, man? Make a comeback?
Well, I think it'd be good for everybody for you to make a comeback. It'd be good for your kids.
I don't even think you need to worry about regular content, man. Like if you just work now for the next 6 months on one video, and just release out of nowhere an absolute banger, like that, you'll be back at the top of the game, man.
That's what frustrates me a little bit. The fact that you still have 50,000 subs. It's I wouldn't call it a dead channel, but you're not producing the content you used to. But at any point when you do produce it, it's going to get pushed to 50,000 people who all still love you. And those, like Cam says, one video a month of just a bit of cycling, a bit of life, and general chit chat. I don't think it'd be too long before you were back.
Yeah, look, it's as I say to you, I do think about it a lot. And Hannah's a great support. She says to me, look, for your mental health, just get back into doing the blogs. She's always saying, get back into doing the blogs. And as I say, there's that cringe factor, like something to do with a 46-year-old bloke holding the camera going, hey guys, here's me just walking around the shopping centre with my camera.
Yeah.
It's just something crook with that. And so I think about doing it, and then I think, can I be fucked? And so there's this constant cycle of going through. But I'd love to do it. And that's the other thing about the channel. you say the channel is not dead. I don't know, algorithm-wise, I think and I got no idea, but I think the algorithm does park it to some degree, so it would take it a while. I'd probably even be better starting up a new channel, just starting up Mark Ferguson Cycling News or something like that.
Whoa, hold on 1 second.
No, I won't, mate. I don't even know enough about the shit. I don't even know who their names are.
Neither do I.
So
neither does Chris.
It doesn't matter, mate. And this is the thing, it doesn't matter as long as you're making content.
That's it. Just a quick Google search in the morning and I'm away. I know everything.
Are you doing the drama alert model, are you?
Mate, that's it. Exactly. But there's just not enough drama in the cycling world. I need to start some
You've got to create it, Chris. You're too nice.
What about us?
They're too nice.
Why don't we have some beef then? Mark makes a return and I slag him off and boom, we're away. Chris
says this all the time to me, Mark. He's like, just start some beef with someone. Like, just kick off the Francis K. Just tell him just say something to him. Give me something.
Yeah, but but if Francis really heard what you thought about him, there would be beef.
Here we go. Yeah, come on.
See, mate, he's a classy example of someone grinding it in the cycling genre.
Time, yeah.
You know, he's grinding it, and he's consistent, and he's banging it out. And mate, he doesn't have that many subs.
Yeah,
right. I've seen channels go from 0 subs to 1 million subs in 6 months, in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, why would you start up? I mean, even me, why would I go back to doing cycling videos when I could start up maybe a comedy, I don't know, anything channel.
Yeah.
And you're opening your scope to other things. So I don't know. I often think about this.
Mate, it's such a tough game. It is. Yeah. We know cycling inside out. I know you don't know the riders' names, but you know what it feels like to cycle. You know how to cycle. You know everything about cycling to a normal person, so they can relate to you in that, and that's a hook to get you in straight away. But if you haven't got that, like you say, where do you can literally go anywhere you want with it. You can make any videos, and like you're saying, there's some absolute, can I say this, cretins out there making shit content, but they just get that hook with like the youngsters and they're up to 1 million views. What?
Well, I mean, look at
porn.
Morgs.
Oh, Morgs. I thought you said porn. I was like, yeah, porn. I'll go into porn.
Porn.
If that gets me the views.
OnlyFans account. My OnlyFans account wouldn't go very well. But, you know, this is the thing, this is the other thing. This is the thing that cracks me about some content is you've got guys like myself and you know, obviously Cam and others that are making these really, you know, good, well thought out videos and putting B-roll and sort of selecting music and stuff and sound effects. And then you've got people who, I can think of some women that I know on YouTube in the cycling world.
Name them.
Who
beef. Come on, who?
who sit in front of the camera and just talk to the camera.
Yeah.
And get shitloads of views. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is shit content. This is shit content. And you're killing it. Right?
Yeah.
So that's always frustrating. It fucking does my head in there. Like, stop talking to the camera. You know, I don't understand it. I don't understand this lengthy talks. And even I've been guilty of it at some stages through my videos, you know, where you're talking absolute shit to the camera for ages and you go back into editing and you're like, what the fuck? I've got to put some B-roll or something over the top of this. This is horrible. And so, but some people are happy sitting there for 20 minutes talking and they get the views. So good on to them.
Yeah, man. What I want to touch on as well is a quick chat about like mental health, because again, like I said in that, I was listening to the Daily Talk Show and you were talking about it then. How much did YouTube and trying to build your audience and produce that kind of content on a daily basis affect your mental health? Did it affect it in a bad way or a good way?
Do you know, this is I'm an open book. So I'll start by saying I'm an open book. I'll talk to anyone about this shit, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas some people, when it comes to mental health, they sort of, you know, they try to keep it under wraps. And I'm an open book in general. When I talk to people, what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Really, I don't try to be something that I'm not. Okay. So I'm happy to talk about mental health, and I can tell you now that this. Let me tell you something. We talked about the Kickstarter and my channel sort of dying and me sort of getting burnt out with cycling and stuff. all of this stuff has contributed, and then having kids as well, sort of, I love having kids, but what I'm saying is all these things happening at once really fucked me up.
Yeah.
Bad. Really fucked me up bad, to the point where, I've never, all through my life, I mean, look, Cam's 24, through my 20s, through my 30s, man, I was on top of the world. I was king of the world. I was killing it. I was single. I was loving life. I was tanning birds, just doing so well, right? Just enjoying life, right?
As Hannah walked in.
Yes. Oh, sorry. She actually has walked in. Sorry, babe. I didn't mean to say that. But back in the old days, the glory days.
You were a sensible boy.
But I was sensible. But I didn't have any perceived mental health issues. I was like, mate, people with depression and anxiety, I'm like, what the fuck? What's wrong with you cats, right? But when I had, when obviously the Kickstarter went downhill, and obviously then the channel went downhill because I started losing the motivation, and I came back to Melbourne and we were having Jack, I started to really freak out anxiety-wise. I was like, what is this fucking thing that's really starting to fuck me up? And it manifested in the form of anxiety first. It was anxiety. I was really in a bad way, okay? And I went and saw someone about it. So what I'm saying is all of that stuff really had a negative impact on me, but I didn't realise it at the time. I didn't even know what it was. And actually, it was even before that when I went and did I quit my job, and then I went and did the Indie Pack. And I think the quitting of the job was a stress that I didn't really think about too much. And then doing the Indie Pack, I remember being with Rupert Guinness. I don't know if you read Rup's book.
No.
But the Overlander. But we were out in the middle of the Nullarbor. We were out in the middle of the Nullarbor in the middle of the night, and there was 4 of us together. And you're not supposed to ride together, which we weren't, but we all came together at this parking lot in the middle of the Nullarbor, and we said, oh, let's all have a sleep because we're all getting tired, So we scattered around the parking lot. Well, mate, I couldn't sleep, and I was pacing around this fucking scrub parking lot, just pacing for hours. And I was having an anxiety. I was having panic attacks, but I didn't know it back then. And so I suppose what I'm saying is it sort of got worse, progressively worse once I had Jack, to the point where I really went into a hole. And so I think getting back into cycling, eating well, sleeping well, talking to people, being very open about it, which I am. I've been dealing with it since 2017, and it's been pretty prolific through. I don't know if you guys know that Melbourne went into a very severe lockdown for coronavirus. Proper lockdown. We couldn't leave, go 5Ks from home. We couldn't ride for more than an hour. Well, we used to. We did have a curfew, but we don't anymore. But we've sort of eradicated it for now. But even through that period, I was suffering from bad anxiety, depression. I was going and seeing a psych, and now I'm fine. I'm absolutely right now. I'm fine. I'm riding in the mornings and stuff, and I think getting back into riding and just being able to communicate with people and just talk shit.
Yeah.
But it comes and goes. So I suppose what I'm saying is I'm dealing with it daily. Daily, I wake up and I'm like, how do I feel right now? Have I got a bit of anxiety? And I don't know if you guys have ever had it, but if you've never had anxiety, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But if you are someone that suffers from bad anxiety, we're sort of like, it's like we can look at each other and go, fuck, bro. Yeah. It's the worst shit ever. It's the worst thing you'll ever experience.
So here's the thing, I know exactly where you're coming from. I've been there and I'm suffering from it. But do you think it's something that just needs to be found out within you as to what is triggering it, and it can be sorted and solved and you can move on?
Do you know, this is the funny thing, bro. How do you find that? You can go see a psych, you can talk shit for hours about your childhood and whatever else dramas you might have had. How do they even sit there and go, this is what it is, and know for sure? Because then there's I've done a lot of reading on this, obviously, just to try to eradicate it. There's the gut-brain connection. So eating shit food eventually over long periods of time can really affect that connection with the brain. And so, there's a lot of books on that. There's a lot of literature that says that. And then there's also sleep. Going to bed at regular times at night. So there's all these things, right, that contribute to mental health issues, lack of exercise and whatnot. And how do you put your finger? How do you do that? Yeah. If someone was to say to me, this is what's causing a thing, I'd be like, fucking come on, mate, let go.
Yeah.
Give it a rest. Right? So you don't know really. But then on the flip side of that, each to their own. If you want to go to a psych and have a psych tell you this is what your problem is, and that makes you feel better, fucking good stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Because like you say, there are things that trigger it, especially for me. And I know if I've not had enough sleep, that I just become an emotional mess the following day or the following couple of days, and it takes me quite a while to get back into a good sleep pattern that allows me to be able to process thoughts from a logical and rational side of my brain rather than that emotional brain that just goes off on one going, you're fucked. Just go and throw yourself out that window again. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, I can totally relate. And I think my big problem is that I think back to the channel. The channel and the Kickstarter. And I harbour a lot of guilt over the Kickstarter because we fell to pieces. We were under a lot of pressure. We were copying all this negative feedback from on the YouTube channel and stuff. And to us at the time, in that little bubble that we were in the Duro, we were taking it very hard. I was like, I really wanted to produce something amazing here for the people that have paid all this money, and I can't because I'm fucking hating it. I'm hating filming. I'm hating making videos at the moment because we're copying so much criticism. So we skipped days and we didn't produce certain content, and in the end we really fucked it up because I just didn't want to do it. I wanted to leave. I wanted to quit and just give the money back.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
You've got to think that, and Cam, I'm going to ask you this one, but you're producing content for the people that are coming to your channel and slagging you off. Like, how are you going to be motivated to do that? It just doesn't make any sense.
But this is the thing you've got to remember. It's only a small percentage of fucking idiots that are doing this, right? Most people that watch Cam's channel love him. Most people that watch your channel love you, right? The same goes,
yeah.
I think that's what you got to tell yourself, but it's very hard to. This is such an interesting thing. And social media in general, man, it's a fucking tears fest. Let's be honest, right? Grabbing the fucking phone and doing Instagram. I mean, when you're in Cam's position or the vegan cyclist position, my position or your position, you got to fucking get the camera, the thing every day, grab your phone and, hey guys, I'm fucking, let's fucking just make some content. Yeah. And so that's not sustainable. No. Do you know what I mean? And so it's an interesting little world that we're in. And I mean, I deleted at one stage there through all this mental health stuff. I thought maybe it's my social media going backwards, losing subs. On my Instagram, I was losing people daily. I thought, fuck it. Let's just delete it all. Let's just get rid of it all. So I deleted my Instagram, my Strava group.
Oh, shit.
Deleted everything. The only thing I kept was my YouTube channel, just in case I wanted to dip the toe back in.
Mm-hmm.
And I deleted the Facebook, but fucking mate, they make it hard for you to delete a Facebook page, right? So I deleted it, and then one day when I was in a really good mood, I went back in there and it was still there. I was like, I'll fucking click it back and make it come back again. Yeah. So but I thought that was what was triggering it as well. So I got rid of that. But I look at people now doing, and not necessarily you guys, but just generally people on Instagram and stuff taking selfies and fucking doing shit like this is so cringe. This whole social media thing is so cringe.
It's so fake. Like, I always say that. I say this to everyone that I meet. Like, if social media wasn't my job, like, I don't think I would have Instagram. Like, no, I hardly ever post. Like, I post like one photo every 2 weeks, I think, and I posted a few photos recently just with the new team and stuff. But like, these people that portray this fucking perfect life and how exciting and all these things that they're doing every day in, day out, it's like, mate, fuck off. You can see straight through all this bullshit, and I just don't want to. I can't be arsed being a part of that.
But most people don't see through it, do they? Most people look at it and go, oh my God, that's the lifestyle I want. Hit that like button. Then they go and try and fulfill that lifestyle, which is just not sustainable, which is great for the companies that are sponsoring these posts that these people are doing, isn't it?
Well, I mean, this is another thing as well, is that, in the cycling genre, just on its own, you got all these chicks, you got all the fucking the bike against the wall, and all these chicks fucking doing the pouts and stuff like that. It just fucking does my head in, bro. And the other thing that really does my head in is the bike shit. The bike shit, right? So I'm going to get this fucking Specialized over this Canyon. Who gives a fuck, bro? They're all the same thing. These bikes are all the same. It doesn't matter. They're all made in China. They're slightly different angles or whatever. But at the end of the day, I've been racing bikes for 40 years. I can't fucking tell a difference between that Factor sitting over there and the Canyon and some other bike I've ridden. Who gives a fuck? They're light. They you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why do we make this big deal about the new thing that's just come out? The world's fucked up.
It's to tell
no wonder
people.
I'm suffering from fucking depression. The world is fucked up.
It actually is. Yeah. Everybody wants to let everybody else know what they're doing, whether they want to know or not. That's the thing. And we're all guilty of it to some degree, but that you do try and keep it as real as possible. I think the genuine people out there try and keep it as real as possible. I know I try and do that as and where I can.
You can see that just from this vlog, even with the way Cameron's talking, you're talking, you're swearing, that's the way it should be. We're just fucking just how it is, right? Even with my old videos, I never used to swear. And I've sworn a lot in this podcast.
Yeah, no shit.
And there's a lot of people that have seen me swear, and they're like, I didn't know Maven swore so much. Right? Well, I fucking do. I swear all the time. This is how I talk with Anna.
Yeah.
Right? And so, but I never used to in the vlogs. I never used to in the vlogs because I knew there was a lot of kids watching. Well, if I was to come back making videos, I think I would just be myself completely.
Yeah.
And this is who I am. What you're seeing right now is who I am. This is how I talk to my mates. And
you're fucking can.
And so yeah, I'm a bit of a bogan, but that's how it is, and that's how it should be, and I think the more I see social media, the more I think people have just got to be a little bit more real and just show the shit, man. I mean, it's like kids. I was talking to a mate today about having kids. People fucking carry on. I've got people that I follow on Instagram. This one particular woman, she's like, playtime. We're doing water play now. And she's really just trying to, get into us that she's an awesome mum and we're all fucking shit parents.
Yep.
And you should be doing what I'm doing. Basically, that's what she's saying to us. And she's showing me her meals, like every 3 days she'll show a meal, but she won't show all her meals. I'm like, bitch, show me what the pizza you ate last night. Don't show me your fucking broccoli your broccoli salad right now, right? I want to see the real shit. And so, these people, and this is where I think fucking just show it how it is. Having kids is hard.
Mate, having kids is fucking hard. It's not just hard. And that's the thing, other mums will watch that and they'll go, shit, I'm not a good mum. And they'll feel shit about themselves.
Yeah.
When really this woman probably does this one nice thing for the kid. The rest of the time, the kid is sat on the iPad watching mundane shit, frying its brain. And like my kids do that. Listen, it's
because I remember during lockdown we had some funny conversations, didn't we, about all these people on social media saying like how we were joking like how many people are going to come out of lockdown with a 6-pack or fucking
learn a new language,
learn to fly a plane using a flight simulator because that's all they spent lockdown doing. Like it's just so fake, man.
Yeah, but hey, so Count, in terms of like your mental health and how comments affect you. You're young. Do you just roll with the punches? I mean, we spoke about it before, but is it affecting you at all, or?
Nah, I think because of the Zwift stuff and everything that happened with that, it kind of it hardened you a bit. I think, and yeah, I think from that. I mean, I deleted all social media as well after shit at the fan there. I went AFK for about 2 months, I think, in total. And it just makes you realise like how insignificant it really is. Like there's a lot more to life than some wanker in a comment section. I
saw you go through that. I never messaged you, but I thought about you. And I thought, he's going through absolute hell at the moment. I wondered how you were mentally coping, because at some stage, we love fucking cancelling people online. People love getting cancelled, It's just people are crazy. People are psychos. I often, like, I'm on Twitter. I'm back on Twitter and I follow, the political stuff. And I don't want a big, huge following on Twitter. I just want to follow Trumpy and a few others and see how crazy they all are. Everyone's fucking crazy. I mean, even the Democrats being crazy. And I can't believe how psycho people are towards each other. It's insane.
Yeah.
And so I look at what happened with you and I just think, fuck, I hope he's all right. But you clearly got through it well. I mean, you banged out fucking 2 amazing videos that had 1-point-something million views. And
I think that was it. I think that was it. Like, if I hadn't have gone to France and if I hadn't have filmed that video and if I hadn't have done so well, then I probably might have been in a different position. But the fact that it was, for me, it was like a big middle finger to kind of everyone involved in that, because it's like, look, I don't need you. I can go out and do this video and get X amount of views and still smash it, without fucking the racing content or without Zwift or without British cycling. Like, I can do this off my own back. I don't need them to do what I want to do. So I think because those videos did so well, it was like, yeah, just a big middle finger. And the fact, like, that was like my bounce back, I guess. And that was like the comeback. So yeah, man, it's I'm chilling.
What amazed me about it, and I keep arcing on about it because I think it was amazing. The fact, like, I could not have done that. I would have been producing a video every day saying, "I'm sorry," or I'll do better, or replying to all the comments. I was even getting involved in all the comments. Like, you'd gone, you'd disappeared, and I was like scrolling through, looking, going, "How dare he say that? Oh, fuck!" And then I'd start commenting.
Lucky. I think I'm lucky that I've got some pretty good. I've got some pretty good people around me, like good friends that aren't necessarily like very like hot. Like you're Chris, you're quite hot headed. Like, if someone gives you shit, you'd be like, "Nah, fuck you, nah, fuck you." Like, you'd probably be quite hot headed, right? But I've got some good friends which probably look at things a little bit differently, and they're like, right, in order for you to come back, like, you need to. I remember speaking to one of my friends. They're like, just don't reply to anything, don't do any interviews, don't do anything. Just take some time to yourself. Work out what you want to do, where you want to take the channel, and just produce an absolute fucking banger. And like, that's what the France video was, I think, in my eyes. Produce an absolute banger, and then that's the statement, that's the comeback, that's your interview. And I think I just kind of took that advice and ran with it a little bit. But yeah, man,
that was fucking, mate. What a genius your mate is, because that is probably, and in fact, that's what most celebrities do when they fuck up, is they go underground.
Yeah, and or go and do some like charity work or some sort of good PR to put themselves back in a positive light. But yeah, like, look, I looked at other, like you said, celebrities which have fucked up and made mistakes, and looked how they'd come back from it. And even, like, I remember thinking about David Miller, right? David Miller was a cheat. He doped all his way, through his career and stuff. And now he's an anti-doping advocate. He does what he does, and now he's a presenter on ITV, and he's doing well from that and from his clothing brand. That guy ain't he ain't struggling to put food on the table. And I thought, if someone like him can come back from doping his way, cheating, lying to people for years and years, then I mean, I can come back from essentially what is very little.
a mistake.
Well, that's exactly right. And look at Lance Armstrong's a classic example as well for that, because he's got his fucking podcast, which is killing it, bro. Mate,
earning more money than most riders on the Tour de France when he's putting it out there.
Yeah, easily.
It's crazy.
Easily. So this is the thing. You got to endure those down times, and I didn't take it well. Obviously, as I've said many times in this podcast so far, it fucked me up. And you've managed to bounce back, Cam, and do well. I think the thing is, Chris, we're probably sensitive pedals.
I think so.
More sensitive. I'm a sensitive pedal.
Oh, yeah.
And so it really fucking bothered me.
Chris is.
What are you trying to say?
Well, you can see that because he's fucking doing his Drama Alert channel, but he's too nice. He's too nice to be a fucking Drama Alert guy. So there's this conundrum that you've got going on with this channel. I think you just need to go in.
Shall I be an absolute
What you should do, Chris, before you start an episode, walk down your stairs and just fucking headbutt the wall. Just get yourself so psyched up, and then turn the camera on and just say, just whoever you don't like in the cycling world, just say, these are this person. I hate this person. That video's shit. just go mad.
But I know how much time and effort that they've put into it. I just can't do it. I'm sorry. I'll hand the Mark. Maybe you do the drama alert, Mark.
Oh, see, I couldn't do it either.
Because you're all the way in Oz as well, so you can. I remember I did a video on. There was some drama between Durianrider and Phil Guyman, and like I kind of sat on the fence as much as I could, but I was like, he's being a bit of a dick for saying this, and he's being a little bit of a dick for doing this. And the comments were just pure. It was amazing because it was funny, but they were pure evil.
You got the man himself. You got the man himself after you, didn't you?
Yeah. He sent me a message saying he was going to sue me.
Hang on a sec. Who said this? Durianrider.
Durianrider, yeah.
See, that's fucking so unlike. This is the conundrum about this guy. He's online. He's fucking crazy, and I've seen him do some very strange things. With there was a girl dying of cancer, and she was trying to get some funding together, and he just slandered her, and she ended up passing away. And anyway, I'm not telling the full story because I have it's been and gone. But
he's going to sue you now.
But he's done some insane stuff, and yet in person, I've got a lot of time for it. You know what I mean? Like if he was here now, I'd have a beer because he doesn't drink, but we'd have a good laugh.
Yeah, I think that's what he is. I think like he plays up to his persona online, and I think away from the camera, like you say, he's probably a really smart, down to earth guy who knows what he's doing when he's in front of the camera. And is just a normal guy.
Because so it was a while ago, probably a couple of years ago, maybe I don't know how long, a year or two ago. He got knocked off his bike, I think, and he got quite injured. And I remember sending him a message on Instagram, like, look, just regardless of whatever's gone, like I said, I hope you're all right. Like I hope you kind of bounce back from this. And they sent me a voice note back, like, oh, like thank you, I really appreciate it. Like dead nicely, I really appreciate your message. Like yeah, I'm all right, a bit busted up. I'm not too bad. Hope you're well. Good to see the channel's doing well. And I thought, like, I would never expect that sort of reply from him. It was quite bizarre.
No, he does care, man. As I said, he was the main reason I got into making videos in the first place as well. Mm-hmm. And I actually went vegan, and I was vegan there for a couple of years. And he was always super nice to me, super encouraging. He would send me messages saying, man, keep banging out the videos because you're doing really well. The channel's growing. This is in the early days. And so, when I say that I was sort of, I suppose at the pointy end of the cycling blogs, he was well and truly down the track in terms of a pioneer of cycling content on YouTube. And so, I looked up to him as someone on YouTube. And he was always really nice. And even when I went over to Adelaide, he was a good guy. So he cops a lot of hate. I don't know why. I mean, he's just doing his fucking thing, and he's just got his crazy personality online. And I think it's just a big act, really. Yeah. Possibly.
Well, there you go. That's all we need to do then, Mark. We know. Just be, as long as you're nice in real life and everyone knows that, who cares about you, then boom, be an absolute twat on camera.
So this is the thing, the pro cycling, right? So obviously I'm scarred from the 2016, 2017 Tour de France, or the Grand Tours. I'm like, fuck pro cycling, bro. There's so much. It was such a tears fest, really, in terms of the politics, right? And we could do another podcast on how all about that, all about the politics of what went on and stuff, right? But I look at you doing, pro cycling stuff, and is your passion? I mean, look at Valon, man. They've been doing fucking GoPro videos and shit for ages, and they get 50 views. Mm-hmm. Like no one gives a fuck about pro cycling. So I'm like, you reckon this is where it's at?
I mean,
go on, Chris. Tell him.
Do you want me to be honest or not?
Yeah.
Like, I love pro cycling, and I love watching the races. And unless there's some major drama, no one really, you're right, no one gives a shit. And the chances are they've watched the race. When I'm reporting on something saying this has happened, they've already watched the race and they've seen the result. They don't really care that much.
I think, Chris, what I notice, right, when people, if some drama goes on at the tour or something, or someone punches someone, like they come to your channel to have the discussion in the comments.
Yeah.
Like that's what I think.
Yeah.
Like they know about these already.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think what it needs really is to be talked about by someone that they fucking know and trust and like. And so there is definitely a market for what you're doing, I think. You know, there really is. I mean, I'll tell you who's doing really well is that young fella from Australia.
Lantern.
Fuck, you had him. Is it Lantern Rouge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, he's doing really well, and he's very articulate, mate. And the thing I love about that kid is he's a young guy. He's a young guy in comparison to us old fucks, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or me, right? He's a young guy. There's not many people his age that would have the confidence to step up and say, "Hey, I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I know how to pronounce the names of the riders, even though they might be Spanish or whatever, which is a difficult thing to do in its own, especially if you're from Australia, because we've got no visiting. We've got no countries adjoining Australia where I can learn French. You know, like we're an island, right? So good on to him for that. And he knows how to pronounce the names of the towns and stuff that they go into, and Palmares and fucking all these technical cycling terms. He knows. So high fives, man. That's he's onto it. But the thing is with him, he's very dry. He's very dry. He's very dry, almost. And I don't want to offend him by saying this, but almost borderline fucking Asperger's sort of robotic. I mean, he's got a very dry sense of humor. I've seen some of his videos, and he's actually got quite a good sense of humor.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
So you know, but then there's you. And you sort of, you know, you do your thing, and so it's there. It's just,
I mean, we're still testing what works and what doesn't. We just found that during the Tour de France, Cam, when did we go out to France? Not last year before, 2018.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
We found that the cycling news back then was kind of what people were latching onto and how we were making the views and how we were getting the subs, and we've just rolled with it. Now obviously during winter time there's not a great deal of news to talk about, so you've kind of got to find out what it is. And as much as I love cycling, I absolutely love cycling, there's, like you when you change your name, like Cam when he changed his name on his channel, there's more to you and there's more to me than just cycling. But I'm in the machine now. You've got to keep the machine turning. You've got to keep the money coming in before you try and think of doing other things, which is why we started this podcast in the first instance, because, I mean, shit, there's some podcasts where we don't even mention the word cycling. And kind of that's where I feel that an avenue we can go down, where I can express myself a bit more and who I really am, Cam can, and we can get guests on like you, and we can just talk Chang, man, you know, rather than it being a serious... Like, this is the news, this is what's happening. Please make sure you subscribe so we can get the views and money.
Yeah. I think, and you say money, and that's at the end of the day, we fucking need the money. If we're content creators, we need the money to buy the microphone or to buy that. You know, I'd love to go buy at the moment, I'm filming this video. I've got a shitty little microphone here. I'd like to go buy the expensive $1,000 microphone so that we have really nice audio. But fucking we're in the niche of cycling, right, where no one's got any money to, you know, so we've got to scrounge around for a few dollars from some brands. So it's hard yards. But I think there's definitely a market for this sort of thing, you know, to the 3 or 4 guys or 5 to have some just good, honest banter, you know, on a cycling race. You know, like you look at Lance Armstrong, Hincapie and that. They're just fucking robots. They're sort of stiflers. They're stiflers, right? What they need to do is just relax and talk fucking shit.
Yeah, exactly.
This is where I just want to shake these guys and go, just fucking relax, dude.
But there's brands there's 1 or 2 brands that'll accept that, but there's a lot of brands that you've got to toe the line. Make sure you don't swear. Make sure you don't slag anybody off. Make sure I'm fine because I rarely swear and I don't slag many people off. So the brand deal should be coming in thick and fast for me. But imagine if Cam stopped swearing, how much money he'd make.
Well, mate, we might have fucked your fucking brand deals from this podcast.
True,
mate. We haven't really done any slagging, but
well, I don't know.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Nah, Chris. I think kind of going on from what Mark said there, like. Obviously, you know the true Geordie, like something like what he would do with pro cycling. Maybe we should have a crack at something like that.
Well, like the kickoff, but for pro cycling.
Yeah. Just chatting pure shit and be like, the first 4 hours should just be us there sleeping. We're bored. Nothing's happening. Oh, there's a crash. We're bored.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
exactly.
hey, what about, this is the other thing. What about, and I've often thought about this. So, obviously a lot of things have gone through my mind over the years of changing content. And I keep coming back to cycling for some reason. I keep being drawn back to it. But what about a banter group like this for a live race? So, for example, the Tour de France, we're sitting down like this, watching the tour, just fucking talking shit.
Yeah.
I think there's opportunity for that too.
Yeah.
To even do the commentary of the sprint.
Yeah, especially if you can get people in the comments as well. Like, do it live on YouTube with like 3 people like this. And then you can get all the audience commenting in the chat while they watch the race on TV. I
think we need to be in the same room. I don't think it would work necessarily on like Zoom. I think we need to be in the same room, because then you're not like, if we're watching a sprint and everyone's shouted and cheering, like it would just be an absolute
carnage.
Fucking shit fest in someone's ears, right? So I think if we're in the same room and had a couple of microphones, and if everyone's kind of watching, you're not going to overtalk everyone,
But I mean, that's simple. No, see, I reckon that what you're doing is you're building a barrier to progress, right? So I think you can do it. You can be like this, right?
Yeah.
But something like Chris. I mean, I don't know whether you've got the Roadcaster Pro set up there.
Yeah, man.
All right, I think I have seen it.
Good morning.
So you've got the Roadcaster Pro, so you can fucking mute people. Like, if you love the sound. I mean, I love the sound of my own voice, right? So if I had it, I could mute you two as they're coming into the sprint, and it doesn't matter how much fucking screening you do. I'm running the commentary.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So it's a good idea. So who knows, boys? We may do something for one of the tours.
Right, let's wrap this up, because the longer this goes on, the longer the edit's going to be for me.
Yeah.
Mark, we've got to get you on again. Because I really wanted to delve into that ASO and the whole Giro and everything that went on there. So can we have a part 2 out of you, please?
I think we do a part 2, because I'd love to tell you, the goss around that, and what was the cause of the ASO coming after us, and who was behind it. There'll be a bit of goss on who was behind it.
Let's go. Chris, here's your drama.
God damn it! Right. Well, we'll leave that.
There's a bit of drama there. Fuck 'em. I don't care anymore. It's like I'll tell all.
We'll leave that as a cliffhanger then, because that'll entice people in. That's amazing. Right.
Good.
Mark Ferguson, aka Cycling Maven. I said we're not allowed to dead name you anymore, are we? We shouldn't dead name you like Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh no, I'm happy with it. People call me Maven all the time, so it's all good.
Mega. Right, appreciate you staying up all night for me and Cameron Jeffers. It's been an absolute pleasure to see you again. Hopefully, we're going to be seeing you back on YouTube again soon. Cameron Jeffers!
Yeah, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you, boys. Thanks for having us on board, and I'll see you in the next one.
Fucking hell. Drama right at the end.